my name is Willie Minix. I'm back again with another video for marketing. If you're a music teacher, or basically in general, if you just want to learn how to market, these are some videos. Maybe I can share with you a few tips and tricks that I've learned as a music teacher to help me get my business going in where I'm at in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And you could probably use these techniques wherever you are. So hopefully you'll find something in the list that's helpful. Last time I covered 5 tips that I use pretty much on a daily basis, or that friends of mine have used to help them in their businesses. And today I want to give you 5 more. I think I ended last time with giving out special types of lessons for senior citizens. One of the things to add to that is a lot of senior citizens want some sort of a discount. Maybe you could come up with a discount program just for senior citizens if you really like working with them. So that's just a freebie. But now let's get into the 5 for this video. The first one that I have that I've been thinking about, and something that I do a lot, is lessons for homeschoolers. The nice thing about teaching homeschoolers is typically you can fit homeschoolers into daytime slots. So a lot of your students are going to want after school slots or after work slots. But what I've found is I have certain students that come in the daytime that either are homeschoolers or they're people who work evening shifts or they're retired people. Those are my daytime people. My mid-afternoon people tend to be people getting off of school. So I have a few college students, I have some high school kids and some elementary kids, and some teachers that come kind of in that mid-afternoon slot. And then I have my later evening people, and those tend to be students that come that are getting off work, like maybe their job ends at 6 or 7 o'clock, so they want to come at 8 or 9 o'clock for lessons. So my day, I tend to teach from Monday through Thursday, and I teach basically at 10 o'clock a.m. up until about 9 o'clock at night on those days. So those are my slots that I put people in, and I've kind of gotten to know who fits there. But homeschoolers are a really good way of filling up those daytime slots because they get a credit in a lot of states for taking music lessons from you. So it's a really good group of kids to work with. You might want to be aware of a few things if you've never worked with homeschoolers. Some homeschoolers tend to be really, really bright and they catch on to everything, so they kind of put you through your paces because they're really fast. But then you have other people that homeschool maybe because their kids are a little bit slower. So you have to kind of go at a pace that works with how they learn. And you have to be mindful of that. And not every homeschooler is the same. So you kind of have to feel them out. And I've even had homeschool families where they have 2 kids that are completely different ends of the spectrum, where one kid may have special needs, but the other kid is like really, really ultra bright. And, you just got to be prepared for that if you're a teacher and you're going to work with homeschooling families. The other thing, too, that I've noticed with some of the homeschooling families around here is a lot of the families, they come from really big families. So if you can offer like group lessons for them at some sort of a rate, a lot of times that works out better for them, and they'll be happy customers as long as you can kind of cut them a deal. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but that's up to you as a teacher to figure out what you're going to do. But that's my advice, lessons for homeschoolers. The next group, though, that kind of brings up is lessons for special needs kids. There are a lot of kids out there where music lessons are almost like a form of music therapy for kids that have a lot of special needs. Maybe they have ADHD, maybe they have some form of autism, maybe they have a learning disability, or maybe they're a really advanced kid, but still they have that special need. But I'm talking, whereas the homeschoolers are kind of in, one bracket, these kids may be in a totally different bracket. And certain states, maybe you're required to have different licensing for this. But in a lot of states, if if you read up on the literature and study up on, well, how can I reach, say, a kid with autism? How can I teach a kid with autism the piano or the flute or whatever? there are different techniques out there for that, and if you study up, that puts you in a different category than your competition. So check that out and learn as much as you can if you want to work with special needs kids. Um, so I can't really think of anything else for that category, but I've looked into it a little bit, and there's a whole world of information out there on that. So that's something that you can be studying for a while. And then that kind of brings up a sort of a funny one, and this I call Lessons for Dummies. A while back, I switched to using primarily dummies books for my lesson material because so many people would come to me and they would say, well, I bought this book, and it would be like Guitar for Dummies or something, or Voice for Dummies, or, Piano for Dummies. And I want to learn how to play. Well, people don't want to feel like they wasted their money. So as a teacher, instead of saying, oh, guess what, here's 10 other books that I want you to buy because I only teach out of the Alfred's piano method, or I only teach out of Hal Leonard books, or whatever, if you're not being sponsored by Hal Leonard or Alfred or whatever, don't be lazy. Go ahead and learn the other books and teach out of whatever the people bring you, because if you can make that customer happy by teaching them out of the book that they already spent their hard-earned money on, they're going to like you more by saying, hey, this guy actually cares about me and my pocketbook, and so I like him already, or her already as a teacher. Be mindful of that. Now, later on down the road, if you say, hey, I noticed this dummies book is really cool, but it doesn't cover this specific area, well, you might want to pick up this book over here. So, like, I like when people come to me and they have Guitar for Dummies, I teach them what I can out of that. But there comes a point when I often will recommend, hey, I think you ought to buy Bill Edwards' book, Fretboard Logic, because it's a great book that teaches a few other things that you need to supplement this material with. Then they're more happy and they're more willing to say, oh yeah, okay, I'll get that book too. And but you're not springing it on them right off the bat saying, here's 50 books that you need to get, or here's, an exercise book and a this book and a that book and a whatever book, scale book, and all these different things. The Dummies book has a lot of that stuff already included. So in the Idiot's Guide and the Everything book, they're all kind of the same. But think about teaching for dummies, and you may even set up a special, advertisement that way. I teach for dummies or whatever, and people out there will say, "Oh yeah, I'm a dummy. I need a teacher that can really reach me that way." So different things. But that brings to mind visual learners, auditory learners, hands-on learning, all the 5 different ways of learning. You want to keep that in mind and try to approach those needs for each student individually as they come. You might want to be the teacher that can handle all that stuff. So Lessons for Dummies, that's a really good thing. Now I want to talk a little bit about advertising. A couple places that you might want to advertise. Yes, people still read the local newspaper. Maybe not as much as they used to, but the local newspaper is still a place to advertise. And I have been told, though I haven't done it myself, that some of the local newspapers actually offer really cut rates for advertising. Not all of them do. I know in some of the towns that I've lived, the newspapers act like, oh no, we're not giving any kind of a discount because we're the newspaper. Well, I hate to tell the newspaper people that that's not the way it is anymore. But some of them are catching on, and they're starting to give really good discounts for advertisements. So you've got newspapers, local magazines. You have some of the I guess they're newspapers, but like here in town we have Yes, and Yes is a special events magazine that kind of you can get periodically. I think it comes out every month, and it tells you what's happening in the community. You can advertise in those kind of places, the Penny Saver, all those things are print media that are out there and you can advertise in, and some of them you can get really good deals on. Some of them you can't, but you got to look around. But those are places that you might check out and advertise in. Another place, and this is my 5th tip for this video, that you may not have thought about is you can advertise in your local movie theater. And a lot of times you can either do a video ad or you can just set up something with the theater company where it's like your business card, up there on the movie theater, and it runs before the promotional videos from the other movies that are coming out run. So like when you come in and it's saying buy your popcorn, buy your soda, whatever, a lot of times it'll pop up different ads and you'll be able to say, "Hey, come take music lessons." And if people are going to the movies, you never know who you're going to hit that says, "Hey, you know what? I'm out on a date night with my wife tonight, but we have 3 kids at home and they could all use music lessons. Let me write that down real fast." So that's a really great place to advertise. And then if your town has a dollar movie theater, sometimes you can get a discount for the advertising in the dollar movie theater. So those are just a few different places that you can advertise. I hope that helps you. I'm going to keep working with the software for a little bit longer today, and I'm going to do a few more videos with some more tips and ideas, so I hope that you check them out. And if you get a chance, check out my other videos on mandolin or guitar or whatever else I happen to have up there. And I will see you later. God bless you, and you have a great day.